All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, in a surprising move, the Las Vegas Raiders have decided that New England Patriots offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels will be their next head coach. McDaniels joins a Raiders team that needs some stability following the departure of John Gruden last season. But is McDaniels the right guy that the Raiders need? Now, I say that because you look at McDaniels' track record, the failed tenure as the head coach of the Denver Broncos. And it all began not too long after McDaniels arrived in Denver. He traded the team's franchise quarterback and Jay Cutler to the Chicago Bears, which was soon followed by him shipping wide receiver Brandon Marshall to the Miami Dolphins. In 2010, we saw McDaniels trade up back into the first round, rather, to select quarterback Tim Tebow. And Tim Tebow, of course, was a guy who had a mid round grade coming out of the University of Florida. And to see McDaniels trade up to get him was very surprising. And then going back to the 2009 season, real quick, McDaniels and the Broncos actually started off 6-0, and they actually finished the season 8-8 as things really, came apart. And then he was 3-10 before he got fired in 2010. And overall, he was 11-17 as the head coach of the Broncos. Pardon me. He was 3-9, excuse me, when he was fired. Now, during McDaniel's brief time with the Broncos, he alienated a lot of people within the organization as he's made the mistake that a lot of former Patriots assistant head coaches have done when they become head coaches, which is they try to be Bill Belichick. And what works for Bill Belichick with the Patriots not necessarily is going to work for you within another organization. And, let's not forget, McDaniels agreed to become the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts in 2018, only to leave them at the altar when he decided to turn them down at the last minute and return to New England. To me, McDaniels' greatest claim to fame is being the offensive coordinator of the Patriots when Tom Brady was the team's quarterback. And of course, Brady was in his prime. And I've said it before and I can say it again, anybody can look good as the offensive coordinator or the quarterback's coach when Tom Brady's a quarterback, when Peyton Manning is the quarterback, when Aaron Rodgers, when Drew Brees, when guys of that ilk are your quarterback. Of course, anybody's going to look good. And you go back, when Josh McDaniels really got credit in 2007 when the Patriots won their first 18 games of the season. I mean, you had Tom Brady throwing the football to the likes of Randy Moss and Wes Welker. Of course, you're going to look good. Of course, you're going to be the man making the quote unquote right decisions for the Patriots. Now, fast forwarding and coming back to the present with Josh McDaniels with the Raiders, if he goes to Vegas with the same mentality that he had when he arrived in Denver, and hopefully he's learned from that, you might see a purge of the Raiders roster, meaning you might be able to see some of these guys getting traded and shipped out of town on the cheap because they just don't want to be there, and McDaniels doesn't believe in them. To me, I look at Derek Carr for starters. He has 1 year left on his deal. Could he be trade bait? I don't know. I'm just speculating. But these are real questions that have to be answered. And with all of this said, if your Raiders like, and I'm sure people are going to ask him, but Raiders Mark owner Mark Davis, I don't understand what he was thinking about this. The players to me really responded to Rich Bisaccia after Gruden, the whole saga, came to an end for him. And I really thought, he got an interview. I really thought he would have got more of a look over due to the fact that the players really vouched for him. They could have gone in a lot of different directions with this, but I was really shocked and dismayed about them giving Josh McDaniels this job. So we'll have to wait and see, honestly, how it's going to play out rather. To me, I think it's going to be tough because Josh McDaniels is going to come in there with his way of thinking, and he's probably going to do things a little bit different. And it's already tough enough for the Raiders to keep up in this division. Granted, they did make the playoffs this year, but now you got to deal with the Chargers. Now you got to deal with the Chiefs in this division if you're going to get out of there. So it's going to be wait and see what happens. For me, things tend not to work out for Patriots assistants when they strike out on their own. And I said that before because they try to do things the Bill Belichick way. And then, of course, Bill Belichick succeeded for so many years because he had Tom Brady at quarterback. We can't gloss over that. So I don't know how things are going to work out for McDaniels and the Raiders. I'm not overly optimistic about it. This was a surprising one. And this one to me, I really think came out of left field. The Raiders wanted to make a splash, and I don't think this is how you go out there and make that splash. So maybe they proved me wrong. I don't know. But this was a head scratcher at best as far as a hire for the Raiders. So hopefully it works out for them. But again, I am not overly optimistic about the marriage of Josh McDaniels and the Las Vegas Raiders. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take the time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So for once again, fine folks, pardon me, my name is William Martin and I'm signing off. I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.